thought I wanted to become a dentist because I knew from that moment, I was like, okay, I want to be a lawyer. Pay was shit. It was terrible. It was not worth it. And they think, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to make a bunch of money. I'm this, I'm that. But it's like, they don't understand that you don't get paid that much.
Are you not fulfilled at what you do right now?
So there's more to me than just being a lawyer. All right, we are back.
And now we're going to get into the lawyer.
I guess like I said, we have a lot of videos and we'll link it down in the description below if you want to see other videos too. But I feel like this is a chance just to candidly and openly speak about kind of like where I'm at and just have you ask me.
Open conversation.
Questions about my career so far.
You want to tell the audience that what type of law you're in and what exactly you do?
Right now, technically, I guess I have to give some context. I got barred in 2019. I'm a California lawyer. I'm like a fourth year attorney. Fourth year going on fifth year.
Big shot.
Barely. I'm like barely just getting past like junior attorney. I'm like just a normal attorney now. My God, why am I saying it
You're
like that?
attorney?
I'm an attorney. Sound like a
Is that what they call the fourth year attorneys?
Yeah.
Attorney.
I'm a fourth year lawyer. I practice corporate law. So what that basically means is I work in-house for corporations, and I give advice of how to protect the company and give its risks and mitigations towards either being sued or regulatory issues.
But your type of corporate law is still very different from most, I would say.
In my previous jobs, so right now I'm a contractor. So I'm a W-2 at a contracting company, and they find me gigs or they find me contracts where I can work with Fortune 500 companies. So on this current contract that I'm on, I've been working here for maybe like almost a year and a half. So our company has a lot of exposure to legal issues. In my previous job, I was mainly only a transactional counsel, which basically means I was working on contracts, redlining contracts, negotiating contracts.
All that stuff.
Yeah. All like what you probably
not a litigator, not working at the law firm. None of the stuff you see on TV.
On Suits, no, not at all. Thank goodness. And what's funny is that even now, like I'm not even doing the same thing that I did at my previous job. So I don't even work on contracts anymore. I'm mainly doing like data privacy law and product counsel. So the space is super, super different.
What does product counseling mean?
Product counsel is, for example, if we wanted to sell this mic, right, this microphone, or the company wanted to sell this microphone, of course they're going to run through tests. They're going to run through maybe like research project, or they're going to send it through different means through the company before they put it onto the market. So what product counsel comes in is they see what all the legal issues are with this product before it gets into the stream of commerce. So, but what I particularly do is I work in product counsel and research counseling. My company, they do a lot of research. And so the research that goes through could be, you can't just do research like all willy-nilly. There are parameters around how to do research in a safe way.
There's a whole team of researchers actually.
There's a whole team of plenty of Fortune 500 companies have huge research teams. That's how you come up with products that work, right? There's not just it's not just the product team that does it. There has to be an inception or a testing period to see if a product works. Put someone in the metaverse for the NBA. Let's just put that. I'm just putting that as an example, right? But they don't even know. They need to know how to test to see what people actually like. Do people like, I don't know, do they want to feel the sweat in the game or something like that? So how do they do that? They test it and they run research and they see what people like. Anyway, I'm kind of getting into the nitty gritty of it, but where I come in is if, for example, if the researchers are trying to collect sensitive data could be working with, teens under 18, children under 13. So, there's a lot of mitigations and risks around running research with youth, period.
Right.
And so you need special consent forms. You need to make sure that everyone, all members are on board for that, like the parents, the participant. So there's those issues. So I'm like the middleman.
You're the messenger.
I'm like the messenger, exactly. But I have to spot the issue and know the right person to talk to. What I've been doing for the past 15 months, it's definitely, very different from, I guess, what other legal work is. But lawyers, that's the thing about lawyers. We have such different skills, and depending on what you're doing, at the end of the day, you're trying to find the you're trying to identify legal risk and knowing how to tell it to the client. And at the end of the day, the client is the person that is taking on the risk, not me, you know? So if the client is like, well, F it, I want to do it, you know, I've done my job, said my piece and told them like what the risks are. It's up to them if they want to assume that risk.
So you don't represent criminals?
No, thank God. Good question.
I'm just kidding. Obviously she doesn't do that.
No.
And this is a whole other side of corporate law.
Yeah.
But
I get that question a lot though. I'm glad that you brought that up. Like a lot of pre-law students always ask me like, I want to be in criminal defense. I want to do that. I think just the other day someone commented on our stuff saying, hey, I'm taking the LSAT in like November. I really want to do criminal law. I don't know if she said criminal defense, but I forgot.
Or a lot of people even just asked you, do you work with a lot of criminals?
Yeah, can you get me out of the DUI?
Or I just got in an accident, can you help me? But yeah, you're literally just talking about products with
I'm a corporate lawyer.
Yeah, you're a corporate lawyer at all. Yeah. You're at home.
It's like literally going to a general doctor and asking them to do eye surgery.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like there's specialists for that.
Yeah.
There's specialists in every single field. So
we talked about what you do exactly and how you got into it and whatever. I wanted to talk about how you even got into law and why you wanted to do law.
Okay.
And if your parents pushed that on you or what was their expectations of you?
When I was growing up, my dad's a dentist. My dad is a retired dentist now. My mom was the manager of his dental practice. So
goals.
Every single day, me and my brothers after school, we would go back to the office. So I was groomed like just to be in that environment, to like know what business was like, to see my parents working hard every single day. So I literally just grew up with like hearing the dental drill, like just in my ear and being used to it. So for a long time, I thought I wanted to become a dentist, like all the way up until I would say my sophomore year of high school.
Wanting it for yourself or your parents?
I think I did probably a little bit of both. Of course, there's always like some sort of...
Like, did you grow up with your parents say like, oh, you have a choice to do whatever you want? Or were they like, oh, you're going to follow me to become a dentist? Yeah,
I guess I would say a little bit more of the latter. What you just said, like, I want you to do this. However, if you really want to do something else, you can, but it better be good.
Yeah,
like, it better be worth it, and it better be prestigious, and it better make good money.
Yeah.
But I think that's like how most parents think. Like they want the best out of their kids. I thought I wanted to become a dentist because I saw my dad doing it every single day, and I thought I wanted to do that. I was a sophomore in high school when I was lucky because I had two classes. One was a ceramics class and the second was a debate and argument class. In my ceramics class, I ended up getting like a B-. How the hell do you get a B- in a ceramics class, right? This is like an art class. But it's because I was so terrible with I'm
really good at ceramics.
I can see that.
That's really good. And I got first place for 3 out of like the 5
We've been dating
projects.
for 3 years and you've never told me this.
I just remember it right now.
You have like ceramic, you're making a blah, 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 and then you put it into the kiln, right? The burner.
Yeah.
Or the thing where like that makes it like turn into hard stone or whatever, hard ceramic. And you know, they always tell you're supposed to poke a hole, right? So that way it doesn't explode. 2 of my projects, I forgot to poke a hole and it literally exploded in the kiln.
It's because you're slow.
And not even just that.
You can't multitask. There's too much going on.
Too hard. Imagine me as like a 16-year-old. Oh my God. I was like, so I realized I had no dexterity. My third period, because that was like my second period class, and my third period class was debate and argument. And it was just so easy for me to talk and just come up with arguments and like speak in front public, do a little bit of public speaking, just like in front of the class or whatever. And I literally like would get this crazy high, like a really crazy high of just doing well and like feeling like I demoralized my opponent, you know, like I can't, or like.
So how did public speaking made you want to be a lawyer?
Yeah, I went back to my parents after that semester and I was like, I feel like I am terrible at ceramics and I suck at math. I like would get terrible grades in biology, chemistry, all like the sciences, but all the writing subjects I was doing great at. So like English, history, debate and argument, all the writing classes I would do great at, language arts. So I felt like I had to play my strengths, and I think my parents like knew that, and like they knew that. They're like, okay, I had 2 brothers that could go into dentistry, so I think I was the least of his worries.
Yeah, you don't have to disappoint them.
Yeah.
Because your brothers can carry that on.
And luckily I do actually have one of my younger brothers, shout out Dylan, is a dentist. I'm super proud of him, and he's carrying on that torch now, so for the family. I'm pretty sure I was obsessed with Entourage too, the TV show Entourage.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to become like, I love sports, I love the NBA. I knew I was never going to be in the WNBA. So I thought to myself, okay, I would love to be like a sports lawyer. I knew from that moment, I was like, okay, I want to be a lawyer. Be the person that represents athletes and that is drafting all the contracts behind all these big deals. Because I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, you're super passionate about sports.
Yeah, exactly. And I played basketball all 4 years in college, or excuse me, in high school. And then I played club basketball in college. So I was like super into basketball and really wanted to like pursue that. And still I'm really passionate about it too. But then as time got closer to like graduation and studying for the bar, you know, I worked at a law firm my 2L year.
Yeah, but it was, you had to start somewhere.
Yeah. I
had to get a job.
Most law students really start general. As a tip, I would give that to law students to this day too, is to work at a general law firm. So you can see what kind of law like that you want to dabble in. So I would really advise and suggest to law students to like really try a bunch of like jobs in the legal field, because you never know what you're going to be passionate about and what you're going to like to do, and you don't want to learn that when you're already a first-year attorney, because there's too much on the line for you to do while you're a first-year attorney. You know, you're trying to pay off your bills, your student loans, and too many things to juggle when you can just do that as a law student.
4 years later, it's passed. You're now a corporate attorney.
Yeah.
Working at a really big company. Yeah. And all the plans that got you to be a lawyer in the first place did not work out at all.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Are you sad about that? Do you have any regrets? Are you not fulfilled at what you do right now?
So, great question, because I think it takes a lot of, like, even for me right now, I'm like, really I have to think about it. I'm like, there is a part of me that is sad a little bit. I got offered a couple of entertainment jobs in LA, but I never took it because the pay was shit. It was terrible. It was not worth it. And I didn't want to move out to LA or to those parts of LA. I didn't want to move to Hollywood. But I know that if I just bit the bullet, I would have learned a lot. But who knows, right? I don't really know what I would have been through, and a piece of me that kind of is regretful a little bit. Fast forward to where I am now, I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because there's more to me than just being a lawyer. Like, I know, like, this content creation, I think I'm like made for this. You know, I think like this is more of like,
you.
I'm like,
you're glowing. You're gripping
I'm gripping the shit out of this fucking podcast. No, I always knew I wanted to be like an entrepreneur. You know, like be my own boss, do my own, like have my own schedule and do my own thing. And I wanted to do it with my partner.
And whether you are in entertainment.
Yeah, no, I'm
a different kind of entertainment.
I mean, this is like something I never imagined in a million years. Yeah. You know, like, you know me, like I didn't even watch YouTube like that. You know, I wasn't a huge YouTube consumer. I was so consumed in school and trying to get to that, like, oh, I want to be a sports agent. I want to do this, and like running around with my head cut off. I feel so much more fulfilled now because I feel comfortable and I'm like learning so much. Low key, there was always this feeling within me, and like you can laugh at this. And my best friend Eduardo too, he always laughs at me because he's like, dude, you're a star, and like gassing me up. But I always wanted to represent stars. Why can't I represent myself? Yeah. That sounds like a joke, but I'm not joking. But I'm serious. Like, I feel like now I'm like, wow, I'd rather like work for myself and work for us and work for our business. And like, why can't we be the artists? Yeah, why can't we be the superstars for real? Like, and like, you know, it's funny because we've had a couple of contracts already that have been sent our way for brand deals, and I'm reviewing it like I'm the lawyer, you know, like I look at that
skills for something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like to help us. And, you know, I don't need to outsource that. I don't need to send that to someone. There are plenty of opportunities in the future, and I'm, you know, you and I have discussed this too, of like, I would want to render legal services too. And if that would be fruitful, and if it's something that you and I want to go down that path.
Yeah,
so
we're definitely thinking about that option.
Yeah, so that's still a possibility too. So now that, like, that's why I'm saying, like, a piece of me is sad that I didn't get to go down that route. But if I did, I don't think it would ever bring me to this route. Yeah, like 100%. I was supposed to go through this route to get to where I am today, because I would never have this type of free time.
I actually wanted to talk to you about your position right now, because you are not a full-time employee. You're a contractor. You work for a staffing company.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what are the pros and cons, and would you recommend that to other lawyers?
Sure. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not technically a full-time employee at the contracting job I'm at. I work at a global staffing company. They find me contracts to work at Fortune 500 companies. Typically, the contracts are
big companies like
Apple, Tesla, Meta, Google, and just like different things.
Which is really cool, because if you can get into the staffing company, you have an opportunity to work for big companies like this.
Yeah, multiple too.
Most people who apply to jobs directly, they don't get it. They don't have that in. But with this company, you can work first as a contractor and maybe get a full-time.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I've actually looked into some of the opportunities at the company I'm contracted at right now to see if I can get those full-time positions. But I think like we've discussed that this is the best route for me and our relationship right now. Continue to work for this staffing company and have them find me like short contracts. I have it until the end of this year, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if they'll extend me for another 6 months or another year, so we'll see what happens at that point. But if I wanted to do another contract when this one ended, like that's fair game. But I would say the pros of this type of job is that I have the flexibility to, go from big company to big company. And then the best part about it is because I'm not a full-time employee at that company, I'm considered a contingent worker, is that they don't hold you to the same standard as working as a full-time employee.
Yeah, absolutely.
So full-time employees, messages you after hours, after like 5 p.m. or something, you feel like obligated to answer. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like you just feel obligated to answer.
But they're a real full-time employee. Yeah. They have full responsibility.
Yeah, and they get performance reviews. Yeah. They go through the whole ringer.
Yeah. And whereas you're like a sub-in, you're just there to do the extra work.
Yeah, exactly. Like the extra time. Resources. So if I'm done by 5, like I literally do 9 to 5. And luckily my boss, I love her so much. Like she's not a micromanager. So she trusts me and she sees the work that I put in and knows that I'm getting my shit done. Yeah, but I love the flexibility of working as a contractor. I love like not having as strict of a role as a full-time employee. The best part to me, in my opinion, is like the social aspect is not having to be forced to go to the office every single day.
Yeah, fully remote.
I'm fully remote in my living room and show up to my office right here. Yeah,
and this goes for any contract that she's employed to for that short period of time. So wherever that company sets her at, she's going to be at home.
Yeah, it's going to be fully remote. I mean, I told my agent, because I have a manager agent at my at the staffing company that I work for, and I told her that I only want to take 100% fully remote jobs. Some of them will require you to come in, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not going into nowhere.
So you get preferences of what you want, which is really cool.
That's the best.
You can choose like what kind of company you prefer. You can, your hours.
Yeah, I can set my hours. So the typical work week is usually 40 hours, but actually at the company I work for, we technically call it like 50-hour work weeks. So it's supposed to be 10 hours every single day, Monday through Friday. Some cons, of course, would be the job security. The place I work for calls it the being on the beach or on the bench, basically, where you're not on a contract and you're waiting for a new gig. And sometimes that can take a long time, I mean, and you're not getting paid the entire time.
But what's the likelihood of that actually?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure
zero. There's
so many companies that they work for.
They want help.
Yeah, they need help.
They need the help.
And if anything, that's a pro because you can be on the beach, which is taking a short period of a break. Yeah. And you can maybe work at a contract for 6 months and then take 2 months off to go travel. Yeah, I was just about to say that too. I think that's the best part about this. And technically at my company, I get like 2 weeks paid on the beach. So like if I want to, they have that opportunity too. So there's a lot of benefits with it. I think I'm just in a position right now where I'm willing to take all these risks, but I take risks to do this, because if I want to take that time off, it's because I want to put it into our YouTube stuff or I want to do into this, and then I can always jump into a new contract at any time. So you just don't have that flexibility working at a law firm or working at a full-time lawyer job. I feel like this is like the major cheat code for lawyers if they wanted to do something, right, is to get into a staffing company that they like, and they can,
and this type of model,
because they can learn from so many different companies and work with so many companies and have it based off their preferences, right? Like what can go wrong with that?
And going back to actually your question about being a sports agent, this is funny to me because when they present my talent manager, it's literally like that's what they are. Like they are supposed to like help me. Yeah. Like they're the ones that find me gigs. They're the ones that make sure that I'm satisfied with the company, that I'm liking the contract, that I'm not being overworked. Overworked. Like at any law firm or any job I've ever had, like no one has ever asked me if I'm being overworked. If I'm being underworked, they're going to fire you.
Yeah, from what you told me, they're so professional and so nice. And they look at the best interest for you. They're always asking, are you okay there? Like, are you overworked? Do you want to go somewhere else? emails.
Yeah, because we can report it. We can make sure you're not being overworked.
It's crazy.
I've never like and it makes sense because they want you to be happy because you're the one that's investing into their company. Yeah. Because you're trusting them and like you're technically being paid at a discount price by the Fortune 500 company. Mm-hmm. Because if I worked as a full-time employee, oh my God, my salary is like literally almost, not double, but like way more, like $60,000 to $80,000 more. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous, you know? So I'm taking a pay cut in that sense, but to me and where I'm at in my career, I feel like I'm getting paid pretty good. Yeah. Pretty well. Yeah. So I love it. If anyone is watching this and you are an attorney and you're actually looking for work in the United States, let me know and feel free to email me. My email's in the About Me section. And I can actually send you an attorney referral to the staffing company that I work for and I can give you more information there. So it's a win-win situation for you and me because we both get referral credit.
She loves it.
Definitely changed my life.
Yeah. If you have one piece of advice for lawyers or law students.
One piece of advice that I would give to young attorneys or pre-law or people that are just looking into going into law school, to just be as versatile as you can. Take those internships. Go to those social events, like when you're in law school, talk to other attorneys, like talk to people when you're young, talk to people when you're older. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are. Talk to someone that's in the field that actually is practicing law, that is an actual lawyer. So you can ask them the dead honest questions of like, do you enjoy what you do? Like, do you love being a lawyer? Like, really learn what it means to be a lawyer. I think a lot of people at my school, like they think, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to make a bunch of money. I'm this, I'm that. But it's like, they don't understand that you don't get paid that much, as like most lawyers don't get paid that much. They're making like pretty basic amount of money in comparison to even like software engineers or something crazy, or like doctors, or definitely doctors. Yeah. But I'm just trying to think of other people in corporate.
Almost as much.
Yeah, exactly. And software engineers don't have those type of loans, you know, like they didn't go to school for 3 years, unless they have like a master's or something. But, you know, I think you have to look into your finances and see if you're financially capable of handling law school and paying off the loans. And then like the shitty salary you usually get as a first year associate.
You're willing to put up with that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. If you're an early pre-law student thinking about going to law school, doesn't matter what stage of you are in your career, but stay curious and talk to as many lawyers that you can so you can get a grasp of how they actually like the profession and what they do before you jump into this type of financial commitment.
All right, that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a good one. We really appreciate you guys again for tuning in. You know, we'll have plenty of these, you know, going into more deeper dive questions if you guys want. So feel free to drop a comment. And like I said, if you're a lawyer out there and you work in the United States and you are looking for an opportunity to work at a company like that I work at a global staffing company, send me an email and I'll send you over the details and a referral.
Like and subscribe. Peace.